Hi everyone, this is Kylie with the City of Miami's BE305 program. In this video, I'm going to provide a brief overview of Building Efficiency 305. Building Efficiency 305 is a Miami citywide program aimed at increasing energy and water efficiency while decreasing greenhouse gas emissions in the building sector. This program requires owners of large commercial, multifamily, public, and private properties to submit whole building energy and water usage annually to the City of Miami. The ordinance takes effect in 2023 and the reporting schedule is here on the right side of the screen. By measuring and tracking energy and water use in buildings, also known as benchmarking, building owners and tenants can better understand how their building's energy performance compares to similar buildings and identify opportunities to cut energy waste and save money. The goal of the ordinance is to enable building owners, operators, and tenants to evaluate building performance, identify low-cost improvements, and monitor their performance in the marketplace by comparison with similar buildings. Commercial buildings account for 35% of GHG emissions in the City of Miami. The ordinance was enacted as a part of the city's ongoing goal to reduce greenhouse gas pollution by 60% in 2035 relative to 2018 levels. Energy transparency is a common practice among cities in the U.S., proven to provide a wide range of benefits to building owners, tenants, and other stakeholders. There are two pathways for building owners to reach compliance with Building Efficiency 305: by submitting an annual benchmarking report or requesting an exemption from reporting, given the building meets one of the qualifying criteria. Initial deadlines for owners to submit the annual benchmarking report or a valid exemption to the City of Miami are on or before June 30th for buildings over 200,000 square feet and October 1st of each subsequent year for buildings under 200,000 square feet. After the initial deadlines, all buildings will be required to benchmark by June 30th every year thereafter. Here's a high-level overview of the criteria that would qualify a covered building to comply via the exemption pathway. Benchmarking is not required for a covered public property for the current reporting year if the owner submits documentation to the director establishing that the property has met one of the following conditions. The property does not have a certificate of occupancy or temporary certificate of occupancy for all 12 months of the calendar year being benchmarked. A demolition permit for the entire year was issued for the calendar year being benchmarked, provided that demolition work has commenced and legal occupancy was no longer possible prior to the end of that year. The property did not receive energy or water services for the entire calendar year to be benchmarked. The covered property had average physical occupancy of less than 50% throughout the calendar year for which benchmarking is required, or the property is owned or operated by Miami-Dade County, the state of Florida, or the federal government. Benchmarking is not required for a covered private property for the current reporting year if an owner submits documentation with the director in such form and with such evidence as required by the director establishing that the property has met one of the following conditions. It meets any of the exemptions defined for a covered public property, special circumstances as determined by the director, the property is under financial hardship and provides proof of the same. The covered property may be exempted from electricity benchmarking if more than 50% of gross floor area is used for residential purposes, and the property is not master metered or the owner does not have access to master meters or other means to obtain whole building electricity data. The serving electric utility does not provide data aggregation services or access to whole building utility data. However, once such services are available from the utility as determined by the director, such properties will be no longer exempt from benchmarking requirements and shall file initial benchmarking reports in the first required reporting year following such data availability. More details regarding exemptions and utility data access can be found at benchmark305.com. If your building does not qualify for an exemption, you'll need to comply by submitting an annual benchmarking report. Reporting is done through a free online tool called Energy Star Portfolio Manager. Visit energystar.gov/benchmark to get started. In order to comply with the program through the benchmarking pathway, you'll need to create an Energy Star Portfolio Manager account, add your building to the account, and upload a full 12 months of whole building energy and water usage data for the required calendar year. You'll need to work with your utility providers and/or tenants to obtain whole building energy and water. Your benchmarking report will need to be updated and completed each year prior to the reporting deadline of June 30th or October 1st, depending on your building size. Each year, you'll be submitting the whole building energy and water usage data from the prior year. So, for example, if you're submitting a benchmarking report in 2023, the report must include 12 months of 2022 energy and water usage data for the building. Each covered building in the City of Miami will receive a unique building ID, also known as UBID, that is necessary to include when submitting either your benchmarking report through Energy Star Portfolio Manager or submitting a waiver request. You can find a list of building IDs using the Building ID Lookup tool located at buildingid.touchstonebenchmarking.com. See video 5 in this tutorial series for more information about your Miami Building ID. This is the first video in a 7-part video series created to help building owners benchmark and comply with BE305. This tutorial series will walk you through every step of the process from creating your Energy Star Portfolio Manager account to submitting the annual report. This is Kylie with the City of Miami's BE305 program. Thank you for watching.